Salutations everyone, this is Razor here to finally talk to you guys about EGLX 2016 on the Smash 4 side of things. Sorry this took so long, but they took their sweet old time getting those uploads for people to watch. So here we have another tournament. We have the 1, 2, and 3 seeds finishing 1, 2, and 3, respectively. Nairo taking another tournament within Zero's absence, beating Ally once again, but Ally got his licks in on a reset bracket and grand finals, going 3-0 to reset the bracket, but then Nairo in grand finals set 2 3-0'd him right back. We also have Mewtwo King with that Cloud finishing in 3rd. And then 4th place, we got our girl, Supergirl Kells, pulling that Sonic out. As she pulled out the Kirby to go up against Nairo's Zero Suit. It's the same thing that Kid Goggles did earlier in the day when he lost. Kirby has some, pretty useful tools against some of the top tier characters, and we know that Sonic has that bad matchup against Zero Suit. But didn't help her, and she got 3-0'd. Ice Ninja, Apollo Tana. Then we have Holy, Ally's brother with the R.O.B. Poke with the Luigi, Captain Falcon, Sans Ike, Logic's Olimar. Always nice to see Olimars. We haven't seen very much since the earlier tournaments in Smash 4. Kid Goggles with the Sonic Kirby dual mains again. Crimfoish, the Diddy, and Pikachu, as the crowd would say. So let's look at the tail of the tapes. How did Nairo make his way through top 8? So I mentioned before, he 3-0's Supergirl Kells. With the Kirby matchup, she tried Kirby. She's able to low profile some of those Zero Suit approaches because Zero Suit has such a huge advantage in the Sonic matchup. But after 2 losses with the Kirby, didn't seem like she was getting a lot of things going. She was getting some decent punishes, but was having trouble killing because A, it's Zero Suit, and B, it's Kirby that's trying to get the kills. So she went with Sonic in the 3rd game. Didn't really help her out all that much, and Nairo 3-0'd her. And then Nairo 3-0's Mewtwo King once again. Wasn't as close as some sets between Mewtwo King in the past, and he took it fairly easily. We know that Nairo is human and he does make mistakes, and he has had some surprising losses as of late. But we have seen some adaptations that he's made to his game. He's hitting a lot more down smashes. We're seeing a lot of Zares off stage, that Simon Belmont that we've seen him take a couple of tournaments with that move. We saw a little bit more of that, but the biggest difference was more of the boost kick. Not just for those down smash to boost kick spike setups, but also killing off the top in a couple of cases, catch people off guard, they're DIing the wrong way. So solid tournament for Nairo. Loses 3-0 to Ally in the first set of grand finals, but 3-0's him right back. I couldn't really pinpoint what the difference of those 2 sets were, outside of the fact that Nairo wasn't getting hit as hard and he hit harder in that second set. It's always nice to see Ally and Nairo take it to the limit, and being able to see them each take a set was fairly interesting. Ally has had more success recently against Nairo after being destroyed by him for so long, and while he did lose and get 2nd place, he was able to 3-0 him within the first set. So who knows what would have happened if Ally hadn't been sent to losers by Mewtwo King. But it was a very, very good matches, and Ally was utilizing all of his tools fairly well. We know, best Mario in the world, going up against the best Zero Suit player in the world. He was doing really well with his edge guards, utilizing the Fireball and the Flood, and throwing out some capes for, give people an additional look. But he had some solid punishes, really, really good combo game, especially off of platforms in certain cases. And he was Ally. He was on his game, a little bit on tilt after losing to Mewtwo King 3-2 on the winner side of things. That sent him into losers. But he made the run back, reset the bracket, and had a hell of a good time. Ally also 3-1'd Supergirl Kells in that Sonic matchup. She SD'd in the last game, which we do see her do fairly often with that Sonic. Ally and then 3-0'd Mewtwo King on the run back through losers. It was convincing once again. I don't know exactly how I can put that Cloud Mario matchup. It's very close. I can see why it might be slightly in Cloud's favor because the disjoints are slightly because in Mario's favor because of the edge guards and, Cloud's really, really bad recovery. But some close stocks here and there, but Ally definitely handled him 3-0 after losing 3-2 on the winner side of things. And then Grand Finals against Nairo. He reset the bracket, but then loses 0-3. Mewtwo King's trail was blazed off of that 3-2 win versus Ally. After we know having some struggle against Ally in the past, I cannot say the last time he's beaten Ally or if it has happened at all, but it was surprising that he was able to take that 3-2 in the first set. But the weaknesses of Cloud were on case. Ally was able to space out those up smashes so that his down air approach wasn't super safe. His spacing was just really, really fantastic. And then Mewtwo King loses 3-0 to Nairo fairly convincingly, and then loses 3-0 to Ally, but a third place finish nonetheless. We got to see him utilizing his Nair a lot more so than his Nair in certain cases near the ledge, because it's safer. He can get that tech chase to a dash attack, which of course has the potential of killing at higher percents. But once again, Mewtwo King just cannot break into that top two with such high caliber players like Ally and Nairo, even though he did take out Ally in his first go around, getting third place just like he did in Melee, and just like he has in his last 3 tournaments, loses to the person that he sent into loser's bracket himself. And then also notable, Supergirl Kells beating Holy 3-2 with the Sonic, showing that her win on the run back in Montreal was not a fluke after having such a hard time beating Holy's R.O.B in the past. She's beaten him now in consecutive tournaments. That was a hell of a match. And then she lost 3-1 to Ally, having a couple of good stocks there. She was able to pull some really sick stuff on Holy, but then was just doesn't have the practice against the super duper best of the best players like Ally, who is a Canadian, so she does see fairly often, but you have the best Mario in the world and a top 5 player in the globe. And then of course Nairo, that wasn't even close. So she doesn't have the practice against some of these top players. Might have some holes in her mental fortitude. We did see her SD, which she did a couple of times against Holy as well, and we've seen her SD and sometimes in like pools. So there are definitely some improvements that can be made, but her aerial game in many of those stocks and some of those sets was very, very good, crisp and clean. Got her mix-ups in there and was able to pull some early kills. Her spacing was fairly good. She seemed to be quite safe in many cases against Ally, but the Ally had an answer. She can only dodge 3 of his options and he'll get her with the third. And Nairo basically did the same thing, only punishing harder because Zero Suit hits like a truck. So while there wasn't a ton of top echelon players within the tournament, there was still a lot of great things to see. You got to see some characters that you don't normally see in top 8 or top 16, and it was a fairly nice Canadian tournament with Nairo, Ally, Mewtwo King, Supergirl Kills, Holy, Kid Goggles, and definitely some things to consider going forward to the next major in what these players can do. And where the matchups stand in certain characters has come into question. Ally definitely seemed like mentally he had an edge against Nairo because he thought that those nerfs to Zero Suit were bigger than most people thought that they were. But in the end, Nairobi was out on top.